Getting help for this changed my life. Like, like, as you can see, I don't want to talk right now. I, I don't want to. I don't want to be so attached to a thing in my mouth. But in order to have this conversation, I need to have it in. And that's my reality. That phone calls, business, dealing with people every day, that this appliance in my mouth changed my life and allowed me to deal with people directly and be understood. Sure, people get to know me and they realize that there's something a little bit different about my voice, and there is. But my voice is not who I am. Our symptoms are not who we are. I know there are other people out there that have speech impediment due to Myasthenia Gravis. And I would like to somehow get in touch with those people, because I know I'm a unique situation in having gotten this built for me. It took 1.5 years. It took a lot of money. This piece of my mouth is now 30 years old. I need a new one. Not in the budget. That's okay. But I can't, I can't let the things that hold me back in my life stop me from helping you. Stop me from sharing my journey with all of you. I have, just like everyone else on this planet, we all have a list of crap that can weigh us down. MG's one of those things. It could be sickness in the family. It could be not being able to pay the mortgage. It could be a car that needs repair. It could be a death in the family. We all have things to deal with in our life that seem insurmountable and big. And I will say this, what I have found is the attitude in which I look at those things has everything to do with my peace of mind in my life. Everything to do with it. So, we talked a little bit about the speech device. I would recommend, if you're going to look into it, you contact a speech prosthodontics or a cleft palate clinic. I wish I could make recommendations, but I am new in Florida right now, house sitting, and I really cannot make any recommendations. I would love to hear if you have any recommendations for places to get a new appliance manufactured. And I think on this screen, on this post, maybe what we can do is post links to help each other around the topic of speech as it relates to MG or other chronic disease. But this is my story and how it relates to MG. So the challenging part of the speech for me was being bullied and being made fun of. And whether you're 8 years old, being made fun of for not looking like everyone else or being able to keep up with everyone else, or you're 53 years old and come out of the grocery store to a sign on your car that says, "How dare you park in a handicapped space? You should leave it for someone who is more deserving." When I had just gotten out of the hospital 24 hours prior. Those things happen. People don't know what I'm going through. People don't know, and they don't really care. It is up to me to choose what I do with that when it happens. What I want to do is find out who wrote the note and really give them a piece of my mind. And maybe if I saw someone putting them there, I might have a pretty direct conversation. The bottom line is we don't know what other people are going through in life. And when I take the perspective that I don't know what you're going through, it leaves me open to getting to know you and having compassion for your experience, which brings me peace of mind in my life. So it is now 2 years since I've had any pharmaceutical treatment for myasthenia gravis. It has been 10 years since I made the choice that I would get out and get off of that hamster wheel of pharma, hospital, in, out, back, forth, up, down, everywhere, like not being able to make heads or tails of side effects, treatments, what my whole life, in and out, in and out, in and out, plasmapheresis, plasma exchange, immune suppression drugs, Rituxan, Mestinon, Robital Forte, that became my life. And in that, whenever I had a symptom, like I'm feeling tired, right away, I was trained to put that in the column that is, MG weakness, take a note, because I could be getting too weak, and it could affect my breathing. Now, I'm going to say I don't regret having done that in my life, because learning my symptoms, learning how myasthenia gravis affects me is critical. So taking notes mentally, physically, for me it became mental because it became my whole life, of how you're feeling is really, really important in listening to your body, getting the rest you need in order to get vital again. That being said, not every time I'm tired is it MG related. Yet, my whole life, when I would feel tired, I right away went, MG's acting up. I would forget about the fact that it was hot today, that I went to the grocery store, or whatever I happened to do, and that there are a lot of people on this planet that did the same thing I did that day and were tired also. I share this for a reason. If I overly focus on it being MG, I empower MG to grow, I empower whatever I look at. Have you ever bought a new car and then you see that car everywhere? Do you ever get pregnant and all of a sudden everybody on the planet is pregnant? What we focus on grows. So I will say this. If you are in a place with your myasthenia gravis that you need to focus on symptoms, which depending on where you're at, we need to do that. Write them down and forget about them. But take a minute to think it through. Because the more you equate things to sickness, the more you empower your body to be sick. The more you focus on what is weakness, what is sickness, what is not health, the more you see what is sickness, what is weakness, what is not health. The more I focus on the baby steps, the small gains, I didn't get out of bed all day yesterday, and today I went out and walked to the mailbox. Because some days it needs to be that simple. I've been in the place where I couldn't walk. I've been in the place where my eyesight was double. I had a patch on my eye. I couldn't drive. I've been in the place where just brushing my hair, well, it didn't happen. Putting makeup on, it didn't happen. Showers didn't happen every day. I've been in those places where the littlest things take the biggest effort. For me, to access remission, you must shift your focus. You must shift your focus from how bad it's getting and how bad your day is and how much it sucks to be in bed all day and how much it sucks to not do what you want to do, and shift your focus to, damn, I walked to the mailbox today, it's a good day, and leave it at that. And tomorrow, maybe you give up the Doritos and you go, you know what? There's too much poison in them. My body is worth more than that. So you make a different choice for that one day, that one moment, and that is okay. And if you choose different tomorrow, that is okay too. Because we need to get off of this good, bad, right, wrong. There's a proper way. The only proper way to fight this is the best way you can. Is the glass half full. And I promise you, my passion comes from, I am healthier and more vital than I have been in my life. I want to share that with people. I want to share how I've gotten here. And I don't believe that I have an answer for anyone, only for me. Okay, so I would love to know what's on your mind. Where are you from? How long you have MG? What's on your mind? What's the pressing topic that you want to hear about? Today, we talked about speech apparatus. Took a year and a half to manufacture. Started off with impressions. Built up a little bit at a time to get to the bulb the size that it is. And with that process had speech therapy and some assistance to start finding out that I'm not my voice. You know, I faked laryngitis as a kid because I was so insecure, incredibly insecure. I didn't socialize as a kid. I didn't go to the parties. I thought I was ugly. And I didn't know how to grapple with an environment that was judging me for something as a kid that you're just trying to be a kid like everybody else. So another passion of mine is talking about bullying, and we will get into that on another episode. Oh, look, if I scroll down, I might be able to see if y'all commented. Let's see. We got Brenda. See, I'm learning, so bear with me. And nervous and emotional and all that good stuff. So, we've got Brenda from Lebanon, Indiana, with MG for 3 years. Welcome. Pleasure to meet you. Joanna. Nasanan fixes my husband's occasional slurred speech. So, good point. Myasthenia was the first drug I ever treated with, and it was a nightmare for me. Made me jittery, shaky. I could feel my muscles twitching. I would become very nauseated. Had to take another drug called Robenal Forte to help combat the side effects of the Myasthenia. And so I took it for years, and as a kid, it made me so sick, I ended up with embarrassing moments at Sunday school, like diarrhea, and things like that that were not, I don't know how Myasthenia is today. I haven't taken it in many, many years. It did not work for me, and And it did not help the quality of my life. However, I did go on it a couple times to try it again over the years. And to be honest, that was a point in my life, and I will say that is 1989 was the last time that I had Myasthenia. And at that point was when I decided I could deal with the effects of the MG easier than I could the side effects of the drugs. And as long as not taking Myasthenia was not going to make my autoimmune disease progress, I was not going to take the drugs. So I have been rebelling against the drugs my whole life. Was pretty much medication free for many, many years. And it was the past 15 years or so that things started to get a little more dicey. I was having to go in and get IJ lines placed for plasmapheresis because I couldn't breathe. And I didn't even know that I wasn't breathing. I didn't know because I have been functioning with MG my whole life. I didn't know that during the day, I was manually breathing more than I was involuntary breathing. See, because we can do that. We have breathing that is voluntary and involuntary. The way that the breathing's affected with MG is it affects our diaphragm, which pulls the air into your lungs. So has really nothing to do with the involuntary breathing of the brain. So here I am, I'm breathing throughout the day and pushing myself and doing life, and I would lay down at night and as I'm about to fall asleep feel like I'm holding my breath and was like, well, this is really weird. And long story short, because that's a whole episode in itself, is breathing. We will talk about breathing for sure. Long story short, I almost died in my sleep because I wasn't aware of what was happening. My 10-year-old came in to go to school in the morning and she couldn't wake me up. Fortunately, she was persistent, shook me and screamed, and I jolted up. I had just had shoulder surgery prior and was definitely going through symptoms, but I did not realize that my breathing was that much in jeopardy because I didn't realize that I was spending most of my day manually breathing. So when I went to sleep, I almost really went to sleep. I treated with Dr. James Howard at UNC, and when I got to the ER after that, he said, "You're lucky your daughter saved your life. You can't play with this breathing thing." So, I will say to you, don't play with that breathing thing. What helps me to sleep when I'm feeling weak? Prop myself up and on my right side. What I've learned is when you lay on your left side, all of your organs are upside down. All of your valves are on the bottom, stomach valves, all that stuff. So they work harder to do their job. When I sleep, I need rest. So, left side, all your organs are then right side up and the valves are on the top, allowing them to rest more and work less. Propping myself up. And no matter what I want to do, if I am noticing breathing problems, it is rest. It is time to rest. So let me scroll down. Excuse me. Yes. Oh, Joanna, husband getting off pharma too. Yes, love to hear that. Love to hear that, because I will say The side effects of the drugs cause major problems. So, yeah, I can't even believe I haven't talked about this yet. Are y'all sick of me yet? How long have I been on here? Okay, so nutrition. I am guilty of what I'm about to talk about. And was guilty my whole life of going, even though I was diagnosed at 8 years old, even though I had been on Mastodon as a child, I still spent the bulk of my life saying, if I don't know I'm sick, I'm not sick. If I'm not having, like, I was able to go about doing my life, may not have looked like everybody else's, but I was going about doing my life. And you know, it wasn't until things started to get real that I had to go, maybe I don't really know what's going on in my body. So, how many times do you hear someone, okay, we always hear, get more exercise from somebody who's not that healthy looking. You know, I evaluate